We all know trading involves risk. It may not be appropriate for everyone. I mean, that's part of it. We have to learn how to take the good with the bad, and that's part of trading. We are going to have some drawdown here and there. You're not going to win every one, so we just have to expect that going in. But in the meantime, I'm going to pause for just a second, let you read through the disclaimer, and then we'll go ahead and get started with our trading session. All right, that should be long enough. Let's close this down, see what we've got going on. I entered a pound trade a minute ago, and off of 60.44, looks like we're getting some movement there now, so that's good. All right, so anyway, what we're going to be doing for the day is we will be going through our daily trading regimen. So everyone should have this file open. This is found in your members area, and a couple of different places, downloads section, under the schedule section, whatnot. But this is the trading plan. Forex Joe's given us a trading plan that we can use every single day, along with the daily report and Forex alerts that he puts out. We can use this trading plan every day. It's a nice checklist that keeps our fingers off the button, helps us control the impulsive nature that a lot of us have when it comes to trading, and provide a consistent method to looking at the market. So that's what we're going to be doing. We'll be going through each of these steps. We're going to fill out this bottom part, start with the Euro USD, the Pound USD, and then we'll either have a look at the US Yen or the Aussie USD, and see if we can't find some trades for us to go ahead and put on for the day. The next piece that we'll have open, and we'll be using quite a bit, is the daily report, so also make sure you have this one open. This is found on your members area under FX alerts and then daily report, and it'll be the very top one. The top one is always the most recent, so keep that one open as well, so that you'll have your channel information as we move through there. So with that said, let's go ahead and open up the Euro USD and see if we have an opportunity to find some trades here. So Euro USD, USD, current price is 36.40. It's quite a drop from the 3,800 where we were a couple of days ago, isn't it? All right, so we're at 36.40 presently, and first thing we're going to do is capture our channel information. So to do that, we use the daily report. We pop over here, have a look at the daily report, and we're going to capture our channel top and channel bottom. So we're concerned beginning here with this daily level. So what we see is we have a channel top at 37.57, and we have a channel bottom at 37.28. Now the interesting thing about the channel bottom at 37.28 is we see that number repeating both here on the short term and on the midterm. So this is giving us what we would call a 2 of 3 channels. So 2 of 3 channels are lining up at 37.28. Now we know we're trading below that now, so we'll have a look there for opportunities. But at any rate, 37.28 could be a significant level for us, considering we have our short-term and mid-term channel bottoms lining up there. Next up is we're going to have a look at this section for support and resistance. Let's capture some numbers here and see what Forex Joe's expecting for support or resistance in this currency pair. Now, we're currently trading at 36.40, so, oh boy, that just took a nosedive, didn't it? Anyway, let's not get too excited about what's going on over there right now. 36.40, and what do we see here? Well, we see we've got 36.51 was really the last number in our sequence here for the day. This has been a pretty range-bound pair, so we weren't expecting a lot of movement. This is really broken out of our expected range for the day. So interesting times. Might be back to getting into a little bit of a trending market beginning next week. We'll see what happens. But for now, 36.51 is our last support or resistance point. So now this would be a resistance point for us. If we broke to the upside, we also have 36.70, and then from there, that 36.96, 3,700 area. 96. All right. Next thing we want to have a look at is the actual chart. Are we trending or are we oscillating today? And I think most of us would agree that we are oscillating, or that we are not oscillating for the day. We're in a trending market. This is definitely in a downward trend presently. Has the channel been broken? Yep, it sure has. We've broken below 37.28, and we pretty much stayed below there. So the channel has been broken, yes. Next up is average daily range, and this is where it's going to get a bit interesting for us. Today's range, we've already moved 110 pips, and our average range, because of the summertime session and coming out of that directly into the U.S. government shutdown, we haven't moved much. Our range really actually consolidated quite a bit, down from that 100 plus average daily range down to about 70 to 80 pips on this. So that's also kind of giving us a little bit of a interesting piece for the day. So we've moved 110 pips on an average of 70 to 80. Now we know that prior to the summertime, though, the average range for this currency pair was 100 to 110 pips. So we'll see what opportunities we have looking at this. Now, the next thing we want to know on our checklist is news. Is there any news coming out? We just had some news earlier, about half an hour ago, but is there any additional news coming out for the day? We have some medium impact reports that are coming up from the Treasury, Chicago PMI, natural gas storage, low impact, but not too much. Not too much from the red reports. I'm mostly concerned when we look at news. We're mostly concerned about these high impact reports because these are the ones that tend to be kind of a catalyst around some market changing events, especially when you get into the unemployment or non-farm payroll releases, the ADP report that we had yesterday, which was kind of a sleeper. Typically, these red reports, though, can be the market will move around these. Is the report the driver? That's the age-old debate, chicken or the egg, right? But definitely we know that around these reports, markets move, and that's what we're concerned about. We don't want to jump into, if we see this perfect setup that's occurring and it's 825, we probably don't want to jump into the market because the market more than likely is going to whip around and show some movement. It's just kind of a gamble at that point. No use in gambling. We want to take the trades that have the highest probability of going in our direction. So with that said, long way to say news, no additional news coming up for the rest of the day. Last up, crude, gold, silver, Dow, what's happening over here. And we like to use finviz.com. It's a nice heads-up dashboard. I'm sure there's other places to go, but I really like Finviz. It just provides a nice visual for what's happening in the market. We can see, if the market has a positive lean or a negative lean. And we're concerned about what's happening in the Dow, crude, gold, silver, mainly. And the reason we're looking at these, again, I know this is a repeat, but just in case we have a brand new person joining, the reason we're looking here is because we want to see where the market is going. If we see money flowing out of the Dow, out of crude, out of gold and silver, we're taking those positions, we're cashing them out, we're holding them liquid in U.S. dollars. Then, as these begin increasing, if these are green, or we see a lot of green across the board here in the futures market, we're pulling liquid positions, liquid cash positions out of U.S. dollars, putting them back in futures. And that causes the dollar to drop and these to go up. So we look for a couple of things. One, where's the direction? And then two, is the direction that we're seeing here, if we're seeing red in the Dow, red in gold and silver, red in crude, are we seeing green in the U.S. dollar? If they're not that inverse correlation, then that's also a red flag. But for today, we're seeing, looks like a strength in the U.S. dollar. So right now we're seeing a negative futures market slightly. I mean, it's very slight. But the ones we're most concerned about are down, which should show dollar strength. The whole futures market's a whole other story. I'm really flabbergasted by gold and silver being so low given the economic turmoil that we're experiencing and demand. So yeah. Anyway, I just have a feeling this is fairly artificial. When it pops, it's going to go. So I've been trying to buy some more silver. We have a lot of just physical gold and silver that we've been buying over the years from $8. So, and around $700 and $800 here. So anyway, yeah, good time to load up on this cheap silver right now. My own 2 cents. Probably shouldn't interject that into this class. All right. So anyway, what are we looking for? So we've gathered a bunch of information here. We've gathered our current price at the time. We gathered channel information, support resistance levels, trending versus oscillating. We know if our channels have been broken. We know what our range is, if there's any news coming up. So we got a lot of information now where we can go in and place a trade. Now, what do we do? Where do we place a trade? How do we do that? Well, now we're just simply looking at your pretty basic support and resistance, and that's what Forex Show teaches us. Forget about all the fancy chart patterns. It really just comes down to finding key levels to trade off of, and then looking for support and resistance, and just keeping it simple. It's the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, silly. There's another word you can put at the end, but at any rate, keep it simple, right? So what we're looking for here is finding some levels we can trade off of. Now we've got two ways to do this. One, we've captured the information from the daily report that we have from Forex Joe that comes out every day on 22 currency pairs. But we also have thermal grids. So for those of you that have the full software, we have our thermal grids, which also provide some additional levels to trade from as well. So right now, let's just put some lines in the chart. We have 37.28. This was our channel top. So this was hit and broken last night. It was a 2 of 3 channel, so pretty darn strong channel. We pushed through there yesterday, oscillated around, finally pushed it. Didn't even give a chance to retest. It just pushed right through, and now has been moving down over the course of this last session, beginning with Tokyo. So 37.28 was a big area for us. But what other areas do we have? Well, we've got 36.51 is the closest that we've had from Forex Joe's report. We actually came up and made a run to retest that area right as this U.S. session was getting underway, and now has moved back on down from it. So 36.51, good spot to look for a sell. Might be scalping though. The next piece of the puzzle here, especially now that we're at the end of this range, is this 110 pips. We've moved 110 pips on a range that's been very range bound, pair that's been very range bound, into 70 or 80 pips. So we've been very, very range bound. Typically we move about 100, 110 pips. So, for me, this is a good spot to start looking for reversals as well. Maybe not long term, but at least for the day. And I say that because, we just don't typically see this level of movement on this currency pair, and we're kind of at the end of the range. Now, does that mean it can't move another 100 pips? No, absolutely. It could do whatever it wants. We're not going to stop it just because it's typically at the end of its range. But this is a higher probability. We're at the end of our range, and higher probability says once you hit that, once you stretch the rubber band so far, it's initially going to snap back to its original position. So we're going to look at two things here. We can bracket an order in. We can look to sell off of 36.51 and see if we can scalp some pips. That's our resistance level that we have up here. So we can grab some resistance here, and we'll set our first take profit down here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the support or resistance area. So in this case, it's a resistance area, 36.51. We're using our red bars. These are the sells. So if we're on Chart Trader, so you can apply your template. We have a few different templates. We have Pending Order Pro or FTT Pending Order Pro when you set these in. And the FTT Pending Order Pro will give you the thermal grids, by the way. So, but at any rate, we're going to go ahead and move our red bars down. Red is for sell, so we're going to move the thick bar here to 36.51. Set our stop loss pretty darn tight, and look to take profit pretty quickly as well. And then we'll set take profit 2 down at kind of the end of where we're currently trading. If you don't know what each bar is, as you hover over it, it'll pop up a little message and tell you, what it is that you're moving here. So. Not about 10 pips, 9 pips for stop loss. All right, so then once that's set, we can just simply click Move to Sell and put that order on. And what we're looking here is we have an area that was broken, and we'd like to retest it and see if we can get some more pips. Although I think we might be at the end of our range here. The next section I'll look at, even though we don't really have any numbers past the area where we're trading from Forex Joe's report, we do have some thermal grids. So down here at 36.18, 36.20 area, there is a thermal grid. And so what I'm going to use, even though it's a gray grid, it's still an area that's been appearing a few times. So we're going to go ahead and set a buy entry down here I know that's counter trend, so probably a little more dangerous, but I think we have some opportunity to look for some pips. So I'm going to go ahead and set my buy entry down here, and if we can push all the way down to 36.18, I'm going to look for a bounce off of that, simply because we are at the end of our daily trading range. So it's a couple of things. We've got a support or resistance level identified by our thermal grid, and we're at the end of a range. So if we do push that far, I would expect to see some pullback. Typically, markets don't go straight up or straight down. They're a stair step, right? So there we have those trades. We'll put those trades on, see how they play out. Next up, we will pop over to the pound, so the pound to USD, and see what we can find here. Pound USD looks like we got a couple of pips off of that market order I entered just a little bit ago. We came to 60.44 and entered a trade. I guess let's gather our data and we can talk about why I entered this trade that I entered, and then we can go on with our parking some orders as well. So current price is at 60.48. So 60.48 on the pound USD. First thing we're going to capture is our channel information. So scrolling down here to the pound USD, we see that we have a channel top at 60.44, and that's a key area. It's lining up as a 3 of 3 channel. We notice immediately that this number is repeated all the way up here. Next, we see that we have a channel bottom at 59.75. Nothing horribly special about 59.75. It's just our daily channel bottom. But we do have a 3 of 3 channel here at 60.44, which holds some significance. Next up, support and resistance information. Well, we're at 60.48. We have below us 60.37 for support. If we break through that, 59.97, 5,600. Psychological level there, big number. Next to the upside, we have 60.55 for resistance, and that's followed by 60.77 for resistance above there. I'll be trending around for the day on the pound USD. Well, looks like we're oscillating just a bit. Not surprising, really, because we're hovering, we're oscillating, but we're oscillating around a significant channel level. So not horribly surprising that we're oscillating here. Has the channel been broken? Up until just now, it hadn't, but now we've actually broken. We've closed above. We did have a candle that really poked down, but that's looks like a bar of strength, doesn't it? So even though we did test down in that 15-minute candle, it actually ended up closing above as well. So we have 2 candles now that have closed above 60.44. Yes, channel has been broken. Average range, really tight. Today we've only moved 46 pips. You can measure that, if you don't have a range indicator, which is built into our software. You can also just measure that by grabbing your crosshairs, going to the bottom of the day to the top of the day, and that'll tell you we're 46.5 pips from top to bottom. So range is 46 pips. Now, this currency pair, it's been range bound as well. Most of them have over the past few months. Typically has been moving, about 80 pips, 70 to 80 pips as well. But this currency pair, under normal conditions, it was moving about 100 to 110 pips. So we could see a little pop there, depending on which way we decide to go with it. News, well, we know there's no news coming up. We already looked at that. And then the final piece is the futures market, which won't have changed too much in the last couple of minutes. But we do see kind of a positive dollar lean. So we're seeing dollar strength now in the futures market. So our key numbers are down. The Dow's down, crude, gold, and silver are down, and that's giving us a positive U.S. dollar at this point. So money's flowing out of here into dollars. All right. So with that said, what are we going to do? Well, first off, let's talk about this trade. So coming into class, as I was getting ready, price kept coming up here and retesting 60.44. After it broke yesterday, it had tried a couple of times to actually retest that number and hadn't gotten there. So price was there. I went ahead and used the market order software. So I just flipped my template over to the Market Order Pro or FTT Market Order Pro, and I use that to enter a market order. A market order is right now. We're not setting an order to be triggered later. We're entering an order right this second. So we used that to enter an order. Kept my stop pretty tight. I actually thought I was going to get stopped out. We came literally within a few tenths of a pip of stopping me out, and then it pushed back down and came in to take profit 1. So we ended up getting a few pips off of that, and now we're going to reset our chart over to pending order, and we're going to see if we can find some orders to park for the remainder of the day. Ultimately, though, the reason I took that trade was simply because 6044 is a key channel. It's a 3 of 3 channel, and Forex Joe's methodology has always told us that if we're trading below and we come to a 3 of 3 channel, the first time we're going to look for a bounce, and that's what we did. The first time it actually got to 6044. These other times it hadn't quite gotten there, so the first time it actually got to 6044, I entered short to take a bounce. Now we're not getting greedy on that. We looked about 8 pips for take profit 1, and we kept our stop about 8 to 10 pips. Believe me, it was close. It hit this and just pushed on through. I thought for sure we're getting stopped out, and then it came back down and got us some profit here. Now it's struggling. Now it's struggling around, and we have to make a decision of what we're going to do. Are we going to look to buy this or sell this? And that's where we really have to kind of apply our methodology for Forex Joe's daily trading regimen. So what are we going to do? Well, we know 6044 is a big number. Let's just go ahead and put a line here. So just in case you don't have the fast track software, the thermal grids, you can utilize just your regular trading here. So we've got let's put a line there, 6044, big number. Above us we have 6055. So how far is this really going to go? I don't know. It's range bound. We're just stuck. We need to look for a break one way or the other in order to start looking for direction. And then down below us we have 6037. Got kind of tongue-tied there. So right down here, 6037. So here we are, where we've got a major number here, 3 of 3 channel. Let's just color code that one red and make it a little thicker so we don't get confused with that being just a regular old support or resistance line. So here we have this 3 of 3 channel that was it was broken yesterday, after FOMC, came back up, retested. Prior to this break, we've been kind of in a downward trend, right? So prior to this break, we were in a downward trend already. It broke it, and now here we are, oscillating for a bit. It's broken back above, which isn't surprising. We're going to see a major level like this tested a few times, and now we've broken. We broke and closed above. Second candle closed above. So what I'm going to do here, now that we're above it, is I'm going to look to buy it off of 6044. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take take my thick green line for buy, move that down to 6044, move my profit levels, take profit 1, put it here at the top, take profit 2 right up here, and then my stop loss, I'll keep it just below this 6037. So not a huge amount of risk that we have here. So then I'm going to click. I'm going to move to buy. Now again, it's we're only moving 48 pips. This is a very oscillating market for the day. So we'll probably chop around. I mean, it really is odd for any currency pair to move this much coming into next week. Non-farm payroll was originally scheduled for tomorrow. It's been moved to next week, next Friday. So really, we're kind of expecting the markets to oscillate a bit more until we get to non-farm payroll. So it wouldn't be surprising, to see this go 50, 60 pips above, 50, 60 pips below, but ultimately kind of hang around this key channel until we get to non-farm payroll. But we don't really want to have too much bias there, but that would be the expectation. So we've been below it. Now I'm going to look to buy it off of this. Next time it comes here, we'll watch and see if we break. But obviously, if it's trading above, we're always going to look to buy it the first time it gets back to a key level. If it finally breaks below it, then we'll look to sell it off of that. But we have to trade it as it comes. We're going to be wrong. at one point of those trades. So we just have to be cognizant of that and keep our stop losses fairly tight so that we're not betting the farm on any one trade. So risk management is key as well. So we're going to look to buy off of 60.44 now and see what happens. That was a key level. It's been broken, and now we're looking to retest, and that's why we're entering the buy there. All right, so let's do one more. U.S. yen or Aussie, they're both showing us some nice trading opportunities here. Let's look at the let's look at the Aussie. Let's do the Aussie. We haven't done the Aussie in a while, so let's do the Aussie USD, AUD USD. Current price 95.08. Hanging around a key whole number there, 95.08. First up, channel information. Let's scroll down. What do we have for the Aussie USD? Well, we see that we have a channel bottom at 94.20, and we have a channel top at 94.94, right there at that 9,500 area. So key number for us there. Psychologically, if we break above that, 95.48 is a 2 of 3 channel. So that's just kind of a number for the back pocket. 95.48 is a 2 of 3 channel. Support and resistance, well, we're at 95.08. So what do we have here? Well, 9,500 would be a support zone, followed by 94.77. And then to the upside, we continue up. We've got 95.17. And that's followed by 95.31. Are we trending or oscillating on this currency pair? Now it looks like we're in a bit of an upward trend, so we're seeing kind of a trend up. Big question though is, has the channel been broken? Have we broken above 94.94 or below 94.20? And the answer there is yes, we have. We have broken above 94.94, so the channel has been broken. Average range, well, we're at 60 pips for the day, and typically over the past few months, this pair has been holding out at that 80 pip range as well, as most of these have. Again, this is another currency pair that was typically moving plus 100 pips on under normal conditions. No news coming up, and we know what the futures market's doing. Although the floor traders are coming online here in the next minute or so, and electronic trading is going on, but then, we'll also have the bulk of our pit traders really getting underway, and we'll see if there's any real change one way or the other here on the futures board. But for right now, we're still seeing that lean to the positive USD. So with that said, what are we going to do for a trade? Well, got a couple of ways to go. Let's see. We've got 9,500, which is here. Let's change that back. All right, so we've got 9,500, which is here. We've got, that's down below us. Above us, we have 95.17. Which is right up here-ish. And if we break that, 95.31, we've also got a thermal grid at 95.26, which is a little bit higher. So what I'd be looking at is kind of a bracket order tight within this range. So what I'd be looking at here, using Forex those methods, is just basic support resistance again. We're going to sell it off of this top, and we're going to look to buy it the other way. So let's see, we're going to have a sell, set our take profit 1. Sometimes if your buy and sell bars are off the screen, you may just have to grab your price ladder here and scrunch that down to see some additional chart real estate. So we'll get our sell set. Then we'll do the same to bracket in a buy down here, looking for a retest of that whole number. And then we'll set those in with take profit 1 and take profit 2. And it's not unusual to see a spike, right as the pit traders come online. So we are seeing that movement right now, which is a good opportunity, to push up to a new level and look to reposition. So ultimately here we're going to move to buy and sell. That's on. We're bracketed in. So now we have a sell off of 95.17. We have a buy off of 9,500, and we're looking to take profit pretty quickly. We're not having a huge amount of risk. Let's just put that up here. We don't want to have a huge amount of risk on that, and now we're all set. So we've got that trade on. So ultimately, this took us about half an hour because I'm talking as I go through it. Typically, when you're on your own, unless you really like to talk to yourself, it probably won't take you that long. You can just, go through this very quickly. Take 5 or 10 minutes to look at the market conditions, look at the daily report, gather your information for each currency pair, set your trades, and you're done. So the software manages for you from that point on. When you set your trades, you know what your risk is. Your risk is the entry point to the stop loss. That's your maximum risk. The software, though, just like we saw back here with the pound USD, is the second you hit take profit 1, the software peels off a third of your trade and then automatically moves your stop loss to break even +1, protecting your profit at that point, keeping you in a profitable trade. So it's a great way to trade. If you just have a few minutes in the market, you want to step in at a key area right during as the U.S. is opened, do your research using Forex Joe's trading regimen, document your trades, and place them. And then now you can leave your computer on, but you're free to do other things. And that's the beauty and the benefit of Forex Joe's method. So with that said, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Not sure if Forex Joe is on with us today. Sounds like he is. Hey, man.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to keep this kind of simple today, folks. Tonight's Halloween for people in the United States. Tomorrow's the Breeders' Cup, Friday and Saturday for those of you that are horse racing enthusiasts. So been kind of up since about 1 o'clock this morning monitoring the markets. It's been kind of slow. I sent out a report today. The report's pretty self-explanatory. We had 0 of 22 pairs that moved 100 pips yesterday after the FOMC statement. Brian's done a superb job of explaining everything, putting in the ranges. As of 7 a.m. Eastern, which was 6 o'clock Central, Chicago, Dallas time this morning, we've had the euro being close to about a little bit over 80 pips. The pound yen was close to 80 pips. So it looks like we're range bound. We're probably going to be range bound. Today is the end of the day, October the 31st. Here in the U.S., there might be a little bit of movement towards the end of the day with the Dow because of stocks and people closing their fiscal year. There are some companies that close their fiscal year today, so there could be a little bit of movement. I still expect it to be range bound. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but I pretty much put what I'm thinking along with the ranges in the report. So it's pretty self-explanatory. About everybody here has been here long enough. They know what to do. So if we don't have any questions or if we have anything that needs to be addressed, we'll be cognizant of everybody's time today. We'll get you out of here. I know Brian is playing Scrooge with his son, telling him that he's going to cancel Halloween if it rains. But I think the rain will be gone in Arkansas today. We had some rain here, and it kind of got a little bit heavy to the east of us, but everything seems to be passed. Those of you that are in the Midwest in the U.S., you're going to have kind of a rainy Halloween. In fact, I've already seen where some instances in the Midwest, they're going to switch Halloween till tomorrow night because of the rain. So we're saddened because of that. But everybody enjoy their day. Get out there and spend some quality time with your family. If you're overseas, just get ready for the markets tomorrow. I think we're going to stay range bound. The key again will be to watch the Dow, see what the Dow does, if it's going to stay below. Gold was down when I took a look earlier. So the dollar's probably going to stay in its range right where it's at right now, probably right in the 36.30 to 36.70 range. So I don't think it's going to get much excitement. We did and were able to break below the 6,100 on a reversal for the pound dollar. We broke below the 37.28, 3,700. We'd all been warned about those numbers. We're above 9,800. In the U.S. yen, it's coming back. It's around 98.20. So we talked about that. So if you've been getting the reports here in the mornings, We pretty much had the numbers, so everybody should be in a positive pip situation. And if there's any questions, I don't see any questions. If anybody has any, pop them in there. If you got any comments, tell us what you think, what you know, what you can prove. Hope everybody got to see the circus in town yesterday here in the United States in our hearings. It just shows how screwed up this is with our leadership, and it's not going to get any better. I did write an article, One Man's View, for those of you that like to go to forexjoe.com. Let me type that in real quick. It's just my views of what's going on and what could possibly happen. The next big event is that they're going to knock off $5 billion on the food stamp program starting here on November the 1st, and eventually that's going to have an effect, but no sign or no sight as when tapering is going to begin. I don't expect it to happen probably with the January, February mess, probably to happen until May or June of next year. I just saw that the gold's down about $20. So pay attention to the Dow and gold today if you're going to be trading. Scalp, and if you are going to trade, once you hit 10 or 15 pips, take that profit 1, take profit 2, and let the last lot run. Don't get greedy today. Get in the door, get out the door. And if you do get 20 or 30 pips on that take profit, last profit, go ahead and pull it. Enjoy your day and tomorrow. Brian, I don't see any questions, so I guess I'll hand it back over to you. And everybody have a great day. And Brian, have a wonderful day with your son. And Kirk, he's headed out for the bachelor's party this weekend, so may all the prayers be with Kirk, because it's going to be a wild party this weekend for a kid that my youngest son grew up with. So congratulations to him. He's getting married. Hand it over to you, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I think that's it. We've got some trades on. We'll let those trades go. Obviously, my trading plan, if these don't kick in before the loaning close, then I just shut them down. So I'm not going to sit on these all day. I let these go for the next couple of hours, and if they don't hit, then we shut the trades down and do this all over again tomorrow morning and see what we can find. So. Oh yeah,
Brian. Let me just make a quick note. Kirk put this in there. We move our clocks back in the U.S. I know they did it in Europe last week, but we move our clocks back an hour Saturday night here in the U.S. on Saturday night, just to remind everyone.
Yep. Thank you very much. Good to know. Don't want to. We're falling back. That's right. All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us, and we will see you next time. Have a great one.